Feds are going to cut rates, and I'll explain why. This is my opinion, just based off of how things have unfolded in the last, close to 10 years or so. Anyways, the way I see it is the powers that be know that the economy is kind of on a slow grind. It's not booming, as far as a lot of growth. It's probably heard the term stagflation, but anyways, everybody, at least the working class, normal people, know that it's a slow grind. And whether some people want to believe like, oh, it's the greatest ever and all that, hey, that's your opinion. Now, I'm not saying some people aren't doing good and some businesses aren't doing good. A lot of people are just kind of getting by, or But anyways, I don't think I think the Feds will cut rates, and the reason being is, they say that the Feds are supposed to be independent from the government, the Federal Reserve, the private bank, Federal Reserve, is supposed to be independent of the government, the federal government. But it's like, you have to ask yourself, well, why did they have to vote? Why did the government have to vote on this Kevin Warsh to be in his position? If it's independent, why? So to me, just right there, like, even though they say this is what it's supposed to be on paper, well, we already know rules and laws don't matter to that class, we'll say. So, and then too, if y'all watched that interview, I guess it was last week. I call it interview. I guess it was kind of like an interview for him, like a job interview. I forget who was asking the question, some senator probably. And does you take your job seriously? He's like, I take my job very serious. It's all an act, And it's like, well, do you something about Trump and wanting him to cut rates? He's like, I think everybody knows that Trump is wanting to cut rates, as like being very vague about it. And if y'all don't remember, back in 2018, when there was the stock market had about a 20% correction, this was towards the fall of 2018. You'd have to look at some charts, but I don't know if y'all recall that, but this was around the time that Trump was wanting lower rates. I mean, there's articles on it from different news sources. I remember it because it was like live on television. Like, you could see him saying it. Probably be kind of hard to find video of it now. I mean, they could scrub the internet and all that stuff now, but you can still find some articles on it. I mean, I think I found a Fox News article on it dated back then. And so, if y'all follow any MSM or what is it, mass media or what? Anyway, the point is if y'all follow the news, just look at my car had like some grade braking. It's kind of weird. It's never done that. But anyways, that you would know that, especially at least a couple years back, that, everybody knows, CNN and like MSN or there's a couple news sources that are like more Democrat biased, and then there's a couple that are now, like Fox and I don't know, like America One or something now. I don't know I don't watch them, but I think that's one of them. Is more Republican biased. So, but anyways, point is you can find Fox News article that has him wanting rate cuts. This is 8 years ago. But anyways, so yeah, so even though they say one thing, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, look what's been going on the last couple years, or specifically like last year or two, right? with certain like documentation and files and whatnot. You know, they could say one thing, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, I remember I took a state and local government class in community college, and I think I had to take like a federal one too or something like that, just to get like some your like bases, your like basic classes to get like a associate's degree. I was going to transfer in a university, but I remember this one kid, because I was like, well, he could have been my age, but I was a couple years older because I didn't go back into school until like 3, 4, 5 years after I got out of high school, because I was welding at that point and I wanted to go back to school. And anyways, he was like, they can't do that. That, you know, I forget what we were talking about. And that government teacher was probably the most, he was not biased. He was like, hey, look, I'm not telling y'all how to vote or what to think. I'm just saying that what y'all are doing, y'all are going to be the ones that have to deal with what's going on, basically. Like, basically, y'all are going to have to start, you know, voicing what y'all, you know. But anyway, point is this guy, younger guy, was like, you know, they can't do that. That's against the law. And I just remember, and I said it too out loud because, you know, he kind of, you know, it was like kind of an open discussion in this lecture, and he was like, they can't do, you know, and I was like, they are the law. Like they are the ones that, you know, that's all I said, but it's like, they are the ones that make all this crap up, even, you know, I mean, look what's going on now. I mean, even when people don't want something, they still push it through. So anyways, the point is they could say one thing and that doesn't mean anything. So that and two, you got to look at it like Trump got the ego. There's no denying that. Everybody knows that, even his supporters. He got a big ego. Some people like that. But I think too, that he has that legacy, you know, that this stuff that he's been pushing. Oh, I'm the best. I got the best economy, the best president ever, all this stuff. So he can't go out with a boom. He can't go out without a boom. You know, so that's and they're gonna have to stimulate this economy, and that's why I see them cutting rates, basically. And this isn't like, you know, this isn't a political this or that, you know. You know, I just see it for what it is. So anyways, that's why I see them cutting rates. It could be probably like this fall, or maybe even as early as the summer. I don't think they're going to come out swinging in the first meet, but I definitely see rate cuts before the end of the year. You know, how much, I don't know, but that's just my opinion. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save, because I didn't even think about that. I kind of put that stuff out of my mind as far as this new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, or whatever his last name is, how you pronounce it, coming in. But I just kind of looked at it like, at the end of the day, you can only do what you can anyway, and you're gonna have to take care of yourself. I know that what from my viewpoint, like I said, I think they're gonna cut rates. So what I'm gonna do is just save, and then whenever those rate cuts start coming in, I'm gonna kind of look around for housing, and I might buy a cheap, you know, $150,000 house. You know, first time, never bought a house in my life, and I'll probably look into buying my first home, even if it's rough around the edges, and fix it up, get in on a low rate, and then just put 3% down, put the 3, you know, use the FHA, and try to get a low rate, and then I will maybe see about taking a loan out on my securities, my stocks, see how that works, and then use that for a second property, depending on if I can do that or not. Like, is if like, oh, you already got too many liabilities out or loans, you know, like if the banks will let me do that. But basically try to lock in 2 properties with low rates, essentially. Now I know, well, I know you could file for one house under like, if you wanted it under an LLC or a business, you'd have to do it a little bit differently, or at least file it differently, or like, you know, do the mortgage differently. From my understanding, I don't know all the details of that, but the point is that's what I'm going to be looking at. Because I think I wrote down a goal. I don't remember exactly. I haven't looked at it a bit, but in 5 years, I would like to have a couple properties, and those being rentals, right? Anyways, so we'll see what happens in the next coming months. You know, I know whenever I bought this truck, like 13 years ago, because this is 2013, I bought it the end of June, so coming up on 13 years. What I did was I put a big down payment on it, probably close to half of the car, you know. I just saved. I've always saved, but from what I remember, I think I put like, the truck was 35, like priced at 35,000. You know, I was an idiot and did the whole like car, like tire and wheel warranty and all that crap. You know, that it ended up being like a $3,000 or $4,000, like, you know, all the extra stuff, you know, warranty and that. Anyways, did that, which looking back, I wouldn't do it again, you know. But did that, and I don't remember how much was like financed, like 18 or something like that, but I put 20,000 down on it. So that's why I just say about half of it. And then I just saved. I lived with a family member at the time, so what I did was I just you know, paid my payment, but also then put like an extra $500 or $1,000 or whatever I had towards the principal. And just, I mean, I think I paid off the car in like about a year or so, or maybe a little more, because towards like 6 months or 8 months in, what I did was I refinanced it at like, I forget the finance company I had at first. I don't think it was GM Financial, but either way, what I did was I refinanced it through Wells Fargo to bring my payments down, because they were like 400 or something like that, or 300, I don't remember, and I got it refinanced and down to like 200 something. I don't know why I did that, because looking back, all I did was I had lower payments, but I still put more towards the principal. So honestly, I'd have to like do like some accounting or finance work and some spreadsheets and see if that was even worth it, but that's what I did. Anyways, I paid it off definitely in less than 2 years, but I guess what I'm saying is I would just save and do a very similar strategy with these houses. But anyways, I hope y'all have a good day. I'm gonna be getting to work here in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, and just wanted to share my opinion on I guess when and kind of why I believe the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates. Anyways, y'all have a good day.